Peace. Let me know if y'all can hear me okay. I'm gonna go live on Instagram too. Why not? I'm in your hometown. You should come to my event tomorrow. Peace. Let me know if y'all can hear me okay. I think there's I'm gonna go live on Instagram too. Why not? Let me know if you guys have any specific questions you want to ask me, because this in your hometown. You should come to my event tomorrow. How do I do this? Okay. Let me know if y'all can hear me okay. I'm hearing you. We'll go live on Instagram too. Why not? Oh, no wonder. Okay, there's two screens, so there's that screen. Let me know if you guys have specific questions you want to ask me, because this in your hometown. You should come to my event tomorrow. Yep, I'm hearing myself twice. See if I do this. Okay, can you hear me now? Cole, the universe, I just turned my mic back on. So let me know if you can hear me. And when I get confirmation you guys can hear me, I'll go ahead and start. Okay, you can hear me, Cole. All right, cool. So let me go live on Instagram and then we will. All right, I'm live on Instagram. This is totally impromptu, you guys. So I don't have any admins in the chat room. So, guys know I don't like to be on chat with trolls. So just bear with me here. Yeah, I figured it out. I had to mute the page that the chat room is on. So hopefully we're all good. What's up, everybody on Instagram? Peace, Zaid. Peace, Travis. Peace, Benita. Peace, Mike Lowry. Peace, Uncaged Soul. Keita, April. Betsy was good. Knowledge 360 was cracking. SB the head. Nerding. What's up? Peace to everybody on Instagram. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? Yeah, this is totally impromptu, and I wanted to do something special for my, I don't even like the word followers, for my folks. That's appropriate for me, because followers denotes, you know what I'm saying? I know it's a social media thing, but I just don't like to use that term. So I wanted to do something special. I have one free ticket for my event tomorrow in LA. And I want to give this to someone that is local, obviously. and that would like to join us. If you are able to purchase a ticket, if you are financially solid, and if you've already reached out to me, to purchase a ticket, this may not be for you, but I want to give this to someone that is in the Los Angeles area that wants to attend the event tomorrow, because I want the people that I communicate with specifically, and have relationships with that I've established over the years to be present. We are sold out, so we've already hit our 25 ticket mark. So we're good on that. I added an extra 10 tickets because we found out we could have more seating. So I do have a few tickets left if you are interested, but as of now, the event is actually sold out. But I do want to give one person a free ticket. So if you are in the LA area and you're interested in joining us, then email me at info@zazaali.com. That's the best way to get a hold of me, and that's the quickest way because I have way too much going on to be checking DMs. Email me and let's make it happen. Peace, Yara. How you doing, Queen? What's good? I'm that dude. So how y'all feeling? What's going on? Do I know who to give it to? I'm gonna give it to somebody that's worthy. Email me, and just tell me what your situation is and why you want to attend. We will have refreshments started at the opening, as well as dinner will be served, as well as refreshments and dessert to close out. And it's going to be a really, really dope event, and I'm really excited. So like I said, if you want to attend, send me an email, info@zazaali.com. I'm only giving away one ticket, so once it's gone, it's gone. But I am doing an event tomorrow right outside of LA for you guys that are interested in joining. And if you can buy a ticket, please buy a ticket. And we're going to be talking about everything that's happening right now. But I'm at a point now where I'm ready to get past, the information, so to speak, even though we are going to deal with the information, specifically the science of what's happening behind this, this broader agenda. But then we're going to go beyond that and into the metaphysics of where we need to be to get beyond this, this current situation. Because there's going to be a beautiful world and a beautiful experience beyond, this purging process. But we have to be mindful and understand that this absolutely is a purging process. So tomorrow, that's what we're going to talk about, the metaphysics of magnetism specifically. What I have been, can I just smile right quick? I have been, talking about this concept of Morgellons disease and these self-replicating particles, for the past 10 years, specifically in this technology that is in chemtrails. And come to find out, it is a very similar version of this technology that is being used in these you-know-whats. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow. And then beyond that, this concept of frequency, everybody, you hear everybody talking about vibration, but that's actually the remedy, if you will, for the problem. Now, exhibiting that or living that as a reality is where a lot of people are going to struggle. And whereas right now we're talking a lot about economics, and rightfully so. And we're talking about, emergency preparedness, and rightfully so. What we are not talking about, particularly our people, is being spiritually grounded and mentally stable, because that is really going to be the key beyond anything, for what's going to get us, beyond this. Thank you, spiritual minded soul. I appreciate you. So that's what we're going to be talking about. It's not going to be live streamed, specifically because I think we need to get out of the habit of everything being on the internet. You know what I'm saying? And whereas a lot of people think that, the revolution is going to be done through social media, I beg to differ. And that's really going to become apparent when they shut the social media platforms down, because they are. So I want to get in the habit of all conversations not being public and everything not being on the internet and everything not being on social media. You know what I'm saying? So that is particularly what the reasoning behind it not being live. It is going to be recorded. We're going to have a professional, videographer there, and it'll be edited and it will be presented in a, a professional presentation type package, and it'll be available for purchase on my website when it's time for that. But tomorrow we are going to be live in LA, outside of LA, and I'm really, really excited about it. Somebody just asked me, and if you guys have any questions, just let me know. Don't forget to talk about the XMRV. What is that? I don't know what that is. If you're probably abbreviating, I'm not sure what the abbreviation means, but somebody just asked me about the government shutdown. I think it's bullshit. All of it's bullshit. Everything happening with the United States government. Joe Biden is not running the country. Kamala Harris is not running the country. It is all show. And the same with the government shutdown a year ago and 2 years ago and 4 years ago. It's all theater. It's all bullshit. And none of it has anything to do with anything that's happening right now. That's what I think about that. And everybody who is coming from a political perspective, whether it's the Trump MAGA hat wearers or the, pro Biden, pro Kamala Harris because she's Black, all of you guys are off, totally off course when it comes to what's happening and what's taking place. There is no more government and leadership as we know it. There are no more official leaders running any particular country anywhere in this world. And if they are, then they should be vehemently opposed to what is taking place. So that's what I think about that. Much love, Calhoun, for the super chat. I appreciate you. Oh, I'm sorry. You said don't shout me out. I love you too, cuz I had to walk away from my job yesterday and I'm good with that. Gotta stand strong in the truth. Much love, Chan Robinson. And that's the day and time that we're in right now. I think if we're able, I know if those of us that are able to commit ourselves to what we know to be truth, and to stand on that, I think, and I know that the universe is going to make a way for us. Listen, I wanted to write a post about this, but sometimes I don't, we don't have a reading culture and I try not to make my posts too long. But there's an estimated 75 to 125 million people that are not taking the, what, self included, sun included. That's it's a big nation, but it's a small nation. So all of those people are architects, are engineers, are, coaches, are carpenters, are, everything that we possibly need in order to sustain ourselves, we have in that number. You know what I'm saying? So I think we have to shift our mindset and our focus from trying to blend into this world or trying to, get acceptance from this world, so to speak, and really start to separate ourselves mentally first, obviously, and really starting to own and dedicate ourselves to what it is that we want to come out of this situation. I've already started my meditations and my visualizations about the world that I want to see on the other end of this. I want the IRS gone. I want the Department of Motor Vehicles off my fucking planet. I want patriarchy off my planet. I want fuckboys off my planet, regardless of race. I want the whole frequency off my planet. I want suffering and poverty and lack-based consciousness off my planet. So that's what my meditation is. And I can actually envision and foresee a world where that will be made manifest. I want racism and white supremacy, or what we think of as white supremacy, off my planet. And it's on the way out. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be very cognizant and mindful. And thank you for bringing up the nurses, because I want to speak specifically to that, the nurses and the doctors and the healthcare people. And it's not just, healthcare professionals that are being threatened with their jobs. Most of the corporations in America that have or all of them that have more than 100 employees are really being threatened right now at this point. So there's a lot of people that work in the corporate world or in the mainstream world, so to speak, that are whose jobs are at risk right now. Let me see if it looks like this. Let's see if I have anything in here. Like my camera on YouTube is fuzzy. Is my camera on YouTube fuzzy, you guys? Let me know. Much love, Esau. Appreciate you. Esau or Esau? I know it ain't Esau. It can't be Esau. Let me know if you guys can see me okay on YouTube, because it doesn't look like I'm clear. But yeah, this is the time that we're moving towards. So the visionaries among us, this is where where we need to really start to get active. You know what I mean? And not so much reacting to what's happening in the world. We have enough knowledge, and not to say that we don't need to keep studying, to keep researching, because obviously we do, right? And that's what I do all day, every day. But we have enough information. I think the writing's on the wall at this point. I don't think there's any more, convincing to be done, so to speak, even though if that's your thing, go for it. Obviously you got a righteous intention if you're trying to spread truth, but we need wisdom now. We got a lot of knowledge. We got a lot of information, flooding the airways, so to speak. Everybody's trying to be the first person to break the story. Everybody's trying to, and I get that. I understand, the dynamics of the social media world, but we need wisdom now. We need people that are speaking beyond, what's happening. I have the presentation. I was supposed to go live last week, you guys, but I didn't because I was just worn out. My goddess versus queen versus concubine presentation, it's done. It's going to be a 4-part series, but because I have this presentation tomorrow and I'm doing this event myself, so it was just too much for me to do. So I kind of put it on the back burner. But one of the things I'm going to talk about in this video, particularly as it pertains to our men, and this is not only about our men, but in particular our men, is what are we doing beyond exposing the white man? And what will you have to do if there's no white man to expose? You know what I'm saying? Like, we're spending a lot of time and focus and energy in that one direction. And I understand, because I wrote a whole book about this stuff. But we need to be consciously creating a new reality beyond the scope of where we are right now. That's when I talk about going quantum. That's what it is that I'm focusing on, and that I'm going to be talking about tomorrow. This idea of going quantum, what does that mean? Well, it's a play on words, right? Because we're always quantum, whether we know it or not. But it's talking about elevating in a space of consciousness beyond just reactionary living and, this quote unquote physical reality, because the broader reality is a much larger. 98% is unseen, 2% is seen, right? So there's a lot of layers to this. But for the people that are, some people are calling it a new earth. Some people are calling it the new world order, a righteous new world order, so to speak. But there is a new world on its way in. In order for that new world to come, this world has to die. You know what I'm saying? And so that's where we are right now. So again, going back to my point, and thank you, Yoga Therapy Nut, for reminding me, got to get spiritual with this shit. A lot of people are going to be struggling and suffering because they're only focusing on money and only focusing on tangible things, and are completely ignoring and neglecting their mental and their emotional and their spiritual selves, right? I see this thing, and I'm going to talk about this in the goddess versus queen versus concubines. I'll probably talk about this tomorrow too, though. But with women in particular, let me just tell you, one of the videos that I show in the presentation to open up is Lizzo. She did a TED talk about twerking, right? One of the most absolutely asinine things I have ever seen in the history of my life. And it's wonderful because I love history. So she tried to give it a historical twist, So we're going to correct Miss Lizzo in the most righteous and eloquent way that we possibly can. But I'm really sick and tired of women in particular. It's a lot of men that are, you know, accountable for this too, but for women trying to justify all this fuckery. You know what I'm saying? I can't handle it anymore. And I almost went live when I watched the video yesterday. But again, I got too much stuff going on. But just this idea that, you know, because African women obviously have rhythmic, tribal dances and things that we've been doing since the beginning of time, that now that justifies you shaking the crack of your ass in front of the world all the time. I mean, we're literally living in a soft porn video. And we have children, right? I have a 18-year-old son. My son's 18 now. I can't even believe that. How are our sons and our men supposed to function in a world where there's sex everywhere? And it's not like anti-sex, it's low vibration perverted energy. So the thing that I tie in this presentation, I should have pulled a couple of slides up, but I can't do it on Instagram anyway. Sex magic. And this concept of, you know, sex magic now, there's a lot of weird shit going on in the conscious community right now. Just so you guys are clear, and I don't consider myself a part of the conscious community, not because of anything other than my own personal experiences in that community. It's just not my thing. But I still have a lot of people who identify with the conscious community that still follow me, which I love all of you guys, and you guys are all welcome. You're welcome here. I'm just not welcome there. I was never welcome there, but it's okay because it worked out in my favor. Where women in particular are using what they think is sex magic under the guise of, you know, manifestation. And there's nothing wrong with that. They didn't create it. It's not a new concept. But the problem is, and I'll show you guys, I don't have my graphs and stuff. I don't even have any of my workbooks in front of me. We are mental, spiritual, physical, and emotional beings. And a lot of these people that are practicing sex magic, and I know some of them, are missing some of the steps. So you have a emotionally unstable or mentally neurotic woman practicing sex magic, right? And you can still manifest what you want as long as you're committed to that frequency, but that doesn't have anything to do with you being emotionally unstable and mentally unstable. So the people that are practicing sex magic in a particular community that I'm referencing are not effective in raising the consciousness of the people that they are teaching, because for one, that's not the intention. If you're using sex magic purely for manifestation, that's usually not a thing that's supposed to serve the broader culture. You can sell it like that. I see women selling it all the time, but that's not really what that's about. It's about you personally manifesting something specific in your life, right? But I'm just so outdone and you know, the condition of the minds and the frequency of the women, the masses of women, is deplorable and quite honestly scary. And when you see women in the vegan, in the raw food, in the spiritual, in the, you know, intellectual, all of these women in these different ciphers are all starting to, not all, pardon me, a lot, trying to use sex to sell whatever it is that they're teaching. But like I'm going to talk about in the video, when you're a queen, you're responsible for a lot of people just beyond yourself. Excuse me, I bumped my elbow. When you're a queen, you think for the whole. And most of these women are not thinking for the whole, because if they were, they would be conscientious and mindful that there are young boys watching, right? Demon time. You have an actual time frame now in the middle of the night where you can go online and actually watch a strip tease. The strip culture is everywhere. Strip culture is running popular black music right now, right? So our music is being cultivated in strip clubs. So that frequency that is attached to what's happening in those environments is now on the airwaves. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm going to do we're going to talk about polygamy, because I'm really tired of hearing people trying to, strap polygamy onto the backs of Black women in particular, like it is the answer to all of our problems. No, and most of the people, dare I say, most of the people that are engaging in those relationships are seriously dysfunctional, especially the ones that we're seeing publicly. So, it's hard for me to really say what I want to say because I don't have my, all of my information in front of me. But I just want to be clear. You can be a beautiful, sexually voluptuous woman and not have control of your mind. That's a lot of what we're seeing on social media. And a lot of young girls and young women are trying to embody the women who don't have control of their minds and who aren't in any sort of, power position in their own personal lives, right? And our daughters are trying to emulate this behavior, right? So I think it's really important right now for women that are in control of their mental faculties, and that respect themselves enough to be able to put a different visual and a different frequency and a different, way of living, to start putting that forward a little bit more. And it's important for our women and our daughters not to fall into the trap of low vibrational, perverted sexual energy, which is what's running rampant in our culture right now. Do you guys have any specific questions you want to ask me about? I know somebody had asked me about the lockdown. There was another comment that I said that I wanted to address. The spiritual thing. Black people, and this video is not just for Black people, but I think Black people in America, I was watching the activity yesterday when it became known that Kendrick Lamar, Dr. Dre, Mary J. Blige, Eminem, and somebody else were announced at the Super Bowl. And I just saw the internet frequency just kind of spaz out for a second, like, oh, this is gonna be lit. I'm like, are y'all fucking kidding? We are not, listen, I didn't come on here to do that. Let me just take questions because I have a lot to say, and I have a 2.5 hour presentation tomorrow, so I don't want to overexert myself. I want to remind you guys, just in case you just came in, I am speaking tomorrow right outside of LA. I have an event that starts at 4:00. It's called The Kingdom Within. We're going to have fresh refreshments when the doors open. I'm going to do a 2.5 hour or 1.5 hour, 2 hour presentation. We're going to have dinner together, break bread, vegan food, vegan soul food. And then we'll have a live Q&A and group discussion, and then a book signing as well as dessert will be served afterwards. I'm giving away 1 ticket. So I know a couple of people told me they already emailed me. I have 1 ticket to give away, and it will include everything. So email me, and once I get offline, I will respond to those messages and we'll proceed accordingly. But there was Haiti. We really see this is why it's hard to talk about this kind of stuff, because people get so caught up in the physical reality, the the visuals, right? The emotional response, the emotional knee-jerk reaction to seeing those type of images. We get immersed in that, and then it sidetracks us from being able to see the play. The play was opening the floodgates. A lot of those people didn't even come from Haiti. They're from Haiti, but they were actually coming from Central America. Some of them were in Mexico. So they had already sought refuge from Haiti after the earthquake or whatever the conditions were that made them leave their homeland. They were seeking refuge somewhere else. And I read this article, this guy was saying that all of this stuff happened through WhatsApp, and everybody was sending each other messages and notifying each other of, where to go and how to get there. I believe that artificial intelligence is behind the scenes running a lot of this stuff. And it reminds me of the situation in Libya, where later on, when there was that big revolution in Libya, well, later on, we found out that there were agents on the ground that were actually perpetuating the whole thing and sparked a whole revolution, right, to serve their agenda. And there's, they wanted Gaddafi out. Gaddafi was trying to create a one African currency, and he was well on his way to doing so. I don't think any African leader has picked the ball up on that. But, there, a lot of this stuff is contrived. Like the video I put up, the crate challenge. And the brother was saying, they're basically just playing around with people to see how stupid they can confirm you are or you're not. And getting off on these energetic, kind of ups and downs, these roller coasters or whatnot. One of the other things I'm going to talk about tomorrow, tying into the science of the technology that's being used in the you-know-what. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. There is a term for, it's an energy and that comes from when a child is molested, sexually molested. There is a frequency or an energy, a very low concentrated vibrational frequency that is derived and harnessed by pedophiles that are in the upper echelons. I'm going to read it, the super chat. Just give me just a second. Yes, I do read my super chats. In the upper echelons of power, they get off on that frequency and that low vibrational energy that is derived from the children that they are taking their innocence from, right? There's a whole science behind this that I'm gonna get into tomorrow when we talk about frequency and controlling the masses. So what we're seeing when we see the big fashion shows, right? I mean, I saw a clip of Rihanna's Fenty, Savage Fenty fashion show. And it was like men in women's lingerie. And, in the middle of a pandemic, just like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's, I love Rihanna. I think she's dope, but she's playing her position. Jay-Z's playing his position now. Now everything makes perfect sense. Let me get back to Haiti before I get off track, because I'm all over the place, but I don't have any notes. I'm just going off the top of the head. So you have this mass migration where there's thousands and thousands of people out of nowhere, not just Haiti, Mexico. If it was just Haiti or just Mexico, that would be one thing, but it's both, right? So you have this mass migration of people. Then you have these redneck devils on horses. Then you have the cameras strategically positioned to catch all of this, to show it to the world, right? So we can be empathetic and compassionate towards the Haitian people, but at the same time see the play. We show empathy and compassion, mostly when white people get involved, but I'm going to talk about that in a second. We show empathy and compassion, but we don't see the play. And this is one of the things that why Africa went through what it went through and why we had to purge certain aspects of where we were within ourselves as a culture and as a people, because we didn't see the play. We were so loving, so welcoming, so trusting. So everything is peaches and cream. that we didn't see the play. Hold on one second. We didn't see the play. So, what's up, Marcus? He said, I'm thinking that's the George Floyd thing was the same thing. George Floyd was definitely, in my opinion, a hit for a white man. And I've talked about this before, to be able to have his knee on somebody's neck, a black man's neck, for 8 minutes and everybody around him just watching, right? So yeah, there's and look what happened as a result of that. The whole Black Lives Matter, which ironically they're nowhere to be found now, particularly while the world is being mass poisoned. Where's Black Matters now? I don't know. Maybe they're waiting for a police officer to beat up a black man to come back on the scene again. This is what I was saying about Haiti. And yes, Marcus, to your point, I do believe that George Floyd situation was very much contrived. Black Lives Matter is a tentacle of the agenda, just like what Jay-Z is doing in the entertainment aspect and the celebrity aspect is a tentacle of the agenda. Just like in Haiti, all of that situation, keeping you stirred up in these emotions, so you're not really paying attention to what's happening and what's taking place, right? So my point about Haiti is we don't get activated until white people get involved. How do you know? There's videos all over the internet now where people are screaming about the black girls that are going missing in, I think one was Ohio, or black people in Ohio. There was another one that was in St. Louis, which ironically, I've been talking about this for a long time, haven't really been able to get any support from our people, and actually got into a very public altercation, beef, with a peasant, because I was discussing something about this particular topic on a radio show, whatever. But you drove all the way down to help the Haitian people and you crossed over New Orleans? Because New Orleans still doesn't have power, right? I don't know. Maybe somebody's in New Orleans. Does New Orleans have power yet? Maybe if we can get a couple of white police officers to go down and, bust out some headlights in a black community, we'll get involved. I don't know. Tell me. Democratic Republic has been the only ones to help Haiti. I did see some brothers from the Hebrew Israelites that did go down and were able to, make a way so that they were able to get to the people in order to, provide some utilities and some utensils. So shout out to the brothers, the Hebrew Israelites. They're really the only ones that I have seen that actually was able to make contact. I've seen videos of other people kind of standing at the gate, talking to the people that really don't have any power and then putting it online. I'm not really sure what the purpose of that is. But what I'm saying is, why is it that we only get activated when white people get involved? And the point that I was making before about, our men that are specifically focused on exposing the white man, well, that's great, but I need you to expose me to God. Can you expose me to God? Can you expose me to truth? Can you expose me to a way out of this shit? Right? Because like I said before, the writing's on the wall. I think we're pretty clear at this point what's taking place. You can't get on a flight now. You can't, you know what I'm saying? Like this is the fucking Twilight Zone. Are we paying attention? Is anybody paying attention? I don't know. The people who aren't saying anything, I'd love to know your strategy. Maybe you have something planned that I haven't seen yet. Let me know. I don't know. Is the plan to just not say anything and hope for the best? I don't know. So, every day I wake up, y'all, and I have a moment where I forget that this is happening every day, because I wake up and I focus on my breathing and I'm happy because I'm alive and I can breathe and I'm, I'm here and I got a beautiful sun and a beautiful place. And then that thing will come back to me and I'll remember, fuck, there's somebody actively trying to kill me. I know they're not trying to kill me because they know that, there's consequences for messing with the angels that are on the planet, number one. But number two, they do need, you know, organic, authentic, righteous energy on this planet. Even if they purge a lot of the fuckery, they do need righteous beings on this planet to maintain an equilibrium. And they know it. They have the technology if they just wanted to kill people outright to do it. But they have to maintain a certain semblance, right? Because they know that it's not just us, right? There's some gods on the scene. There's some angels on the scene. Just like those Joe Biden voters. I'm really curious to know what people who voted for George Biden are how y'all doing? It's not looking real good right now. And dude, in my opinion, is about 75% dementia. He's got real serious issues. But good luck with that. You guys have some questions? Because I don't want to talk too much about what I'm going to talk about tomorrow, because I'll start saying stuff that will get the video flagged. So there's that. Don't forget, you guys, I have a free ticket that I'm giving away. So if you're in the LA area, hit me up. I have an event tomorrow. It's going to be really, really dope. And thank you to everybody who is going to be joining us tomorrow, because we're going to be talking about everything that's going on. How did you find out you were an angel? I just always knew. I can't say that there was a moment or that there was now my concept of angel is probably a lot different than most people. But I think I always knew, you know, I do. And I know you guys, just a side note, if you guys have any questions to ask me, let me know. I know a lot of you guys are struggling with jobs and, you know, with losing your jobs and things like that. And that's what I've really been trying to create momentum for people that are, you know, kind of struggling with what they're going to do from here. If you think about it, right? Planet Earth is 196,940,000 square miles. I'm not looking at the screens because I'm trying not to get thrown off. So if you have a question and I don't see it, just copy it and then, you know, I'll come back to it. Planet Earth is 196,940,000 square miles. It is huge beyond anything that we can possibly imagine. They say our planet is 75% water, and then they'll turn around and tell you that we're getting ready to have a water shortage. They tell you that there is a food shortage, but if you plant a seed in the grass in your backyard tomorrow, it will start to grow, right? Potatoes, if you leave a potato out for too long, it will naturally start to regrow itself. That's what the little spuds are on the outside, right? So everything in the universe and everything on our planet is constantly growing, constantly regenerating itself. That's what the war is about, stopping the regeneration process. I don't know how much you guys know about the singularity in artificial intelligence, but basically these people are trying to one-up God right now. And they've created a technology that can stifle your connection to the cosmos, so to speak. So your intuition, your personal guidance system, right? That internal compass that we all have. They're trying to separate that. And I believe that they're trying to separate it so that it goes beyond just this physical life into another dimension, right? I'm going to talk about that tomorrow because it's a lot to build on. But somebody had a question. Let me find it. I wanted to know your opinion on Jamel Hill saying LeBron should use his position to speak out against unvied players. Well, my position on anybody that is pro, you know what, you're playing, you're on the wrong team. If you are co-signing it, I don't care. Everybody's like, oh, I don't think LeBron really got it. I don't care if he got it or not. The minute that he made the statement saying that he got it, he was indirectly co-signing the agenda, right? And now anytime they call on him, he's going to have to continue to co-sign it if they ask him a question about it, right? So he's on the wrong team now. LeBron is. and anybody else that is publicly promoting this shit. Now, if you took it, depends on your level of consciousness. If you've taken it, you don't have any more days off. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to get really, 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 really serious about your life and your body right now. Because I'm being careful about what I'm saying, you guys. There is a penalty, and it's dealing with your immune system, and your immune system to naturally do what it normally does now. It's not going to naturally do what it normally does. Now your body's going to turn up against your body. You understand what I'm saying? So Jamel Hill, her and all the rest of the rich peasants, you know what I'm saying? D.L. Hughley, he's such a clown. He's just lost all respect in my eyes. He's just D.L. Hughley, Amanda Seals, all of them. You know what I'm saying? I just have no respect for any of these people anymore. And I could have loved you for 20 years straight. But this right here, there's no middle ground for me. And that's not just about celebrities. That's anybody. I know a lot of people that I thought were highly intelligent or that were conscious or that had a certain level of intellectual prowess that I have now realized do not run and control their own minds. How is it possible to have a master's degree and not be in control of your own mind? It's fascinating. You went to school for 10 years and you can't see through this shit? I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. And to your point, Eddie Griffin is holding it down. Buju Banton is definitely holding it down. Who else? There's like 5. Big Boy from Outkast. Tank. Yeah, there's like 5. I haven't seen any women. I haven't seen any celebrity woman. Not one. Maybe there's, you tell me. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. Did I miss somebody? Female Black celebrity? Is there one? Is there one? I don't know. I'm waiting. Is one Black female celebrity any? No? Okay. So now we understand why Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion and Lotto and all of these other females that are promoting and resonating on the whole frequency, we understand why they're so popular and why they are being pushed and imposed so much. Candace, yes, but Candace, no. You can't be a fuck girl and try to teach at the same time. It just doesn't work. I want to root for her, but she's just too inconsistent. But we do acknowledge and bear witness to truth wherever it comes from. I'm being, facetious and a little funny, but we bear witness to truth. But yeah, Candace, I can't really campaign for her because she's gonna say something tomorrow that will probably make me want to fight her. But she does get credit for this. Oh, what's the other sister's name? Angela Stanton. Definitely got to give her credit for as far as her message, as far as the what. Who else? Did you say Erykah Badu? Do I really need to go into that? No, she doesn't count. She's no longer on the list. Sorry. She's not on the list anymore. She's not playing for our team anymore. Anybody else? Oh, Nicki Minaj. That's why you said Nicki Minaj, Marcus. I'm sorry. Yes, 100% Nicki Minaj. And she still is, she's in that category too, because, she's got a lot. We're trying to shape and mold the mindset of our daughters and women so that we can have the right type of guidance to lead us through this. So, you can't be speaking truth about the what today and then tomorrow talking about how your boy is eating you from the back. It just doesn't have the same fire. Somebody wanted to see me smile. There you go. It just doesn't have the same fire. But Nicki Minaj definitely gets props. She also said, I saw her on her Twitter because when all this stuff happened, I went to her page. She also said, that she was going to get it and that if you need it for your job, you should get it. So Obviously that was before all of this happened. So, you know, maybe she's had a change of, you know, heart, or she's learned some things through this experience, because they're definitely going to turn up for her. And I'm definitely rooting for her, even though I have issue, you know, with the race she represents for the culture, Black women in particular. But we still have to honor truth. You know what I mean? No matter where it comes from. Gavin Newsom just declared it mandatory for children to get the jab in order to go to school in California. It's absolutely insane. None of it makes any sense. Anybody trying to justify it. That's why I said, I you know, if you take this stance on this position, I don't really want to hear anything else from you. That's where we are. And because life is still comfortable for a lot of us right now, we're not really, hold on. We're not really taking this serious because it hasn't really kind of, you know, hit home, so to speak. But when it does, I think a lot of us are going to be sitting up straight, you know, really trying to pay attention to what's happening but now would be the time to really be paying attention to what's happening, because you got to get ready for it. Thankfully, some NBA players aren't with it, but are we really relying on celebs to do the right thing? No, nobody's relying on celebs. I use celebs as a litmus test because Black people worship celebrities. That's a fact. And I've had a long history of, you know, of having, you know, little interactions here and there where this was verified to me time and time again. Black people worship celebrities. Not all of us, but a lot of us do. And really what it is living vicariously through, you know, someone that looks like you know what I'm saying? So it's a natural inclination, so to speak, to, you know, want to have fame, to want to be successful, to want not to have fame, scratch that, to want to be successful, and to be good in your craft, so to speak. So it's understandable. This is why, you know, when I say human beings are an ecosystem and women are an ecosystem, this is why we have to be careful when we just automatically dismiss celebrities, which is what a lot of people do. Every time I put up a post about a celebrity, people come on and like, why are you expecting anything from LeBron James? I don't expect anything from LeBron James. I'm just reporting the facts, right? But if women are an ecosystem, you can't stop a 13 or a 14 or a 15-year-old girl from looking at Nicki Minaj. And if that's her idea of womanhood, or that's her idea of, you know, of sexiness or culture or success or whatever, it's hard to stop that. You know what I'm saying? So it's irresponsible for us as women to keep saying, well, you know, sexual liberation, or we can do whatever we want. Yeah, you can, but there are ramifications to that. There are things that come with that. You know what I'm saying? So in the same way that I hold Black men and all men accountable for how you carry and conduct yourselves in the way that it affects the broader culture, the same thing pertains to our women. Conscious community disrespecting the divine feminine, your left brain, which is why we are not loving each other. I mean, the conscious community is out of control. I don't really see any I'm searching for a bright light and I can't find it. Because I'm searching for people that are speaking to your personal power, right? So the people that you listen to and the people that you study and the people that you read and the people that you give your time and attention to should embellish your personal power. All right? I'm probably not going to be speaking in Washington, D.C. or anywhere else for a long time because of the logistics that come with traveling right now. And if you want to see me speak, you're probably going to have to come to California. That's where we are right now. So I'm probably going to do another event October in 2 months, December-ish. So if you're interested in seeing and hearing me speak, the next time I announce an event, it's probably going to be in December. That will probably be the closest you're going to get to actually seeing me in person. Carl Nelson's show has the real consciousness. Carl Nelson has been doing what he's been doing for a long time. Much respect to him. I know this is why this is why I have a love-hate relationship with the chat room, because, Texas is greater than California. I don't know what part of Texas you live in, but I've been all over Texas, and Texas is not really a, it's great because it's a red state, and because there's a different level of, protection, so to speak, when it comes to, how, especially with this whole, what. But Texas is barren and dry, and no, I would never want to live there. I lived in Arizona before I lived in Texas. How do you feel about moving to your own platform and the YouTube ownership? I can stay on YouTube and direct my message the way I need to, and not say, say what needs to be said, so to speak. YouTube has been censoring for a long time, so it kind of is what it is. I don't really expect anything from any of this from any of these platforms at this point. We in the chat need to code so the channel doesn't get striked out of respect. Yes, please. Am I a conservative? Do I really need to, is that something I really need to answer? Am I a conservative? Is that a joke? You can let me know before I answer your question. Is it a joke that you're asking me if I'm a conservative? I really want to know, because if you look on my page, you'll know the answer to that. I wouldn't be a conservative or a Republican, Democrat. All that shit's the same. They're all the same. And all the people who think that Donald Trump is somehow a glitch in the matrix, you haven't been paying attention. And the fact that he is still attracting so much energy and so much attention, it was a perfect play. He was the perfect Trojan horse to me. He made everybody so sick and so repulsed at his being that Biden and the agenda walked right in the door and nobody thought twice about it. I was in LA at the time when the election was announced, and mind you, there was a 4 or 5 day gap, which already let me know that there was play going on, right? But when it was announced, and I'm in LA and I'm driving down Sunset Boulevard, and there's just parties everywhere and everybody's turned up, like real, true, exciting, this all. And I'm looking around and I was just like, this is fucking brilliant the way they did this. He was so obnoxious. He was so disrespectful. He was so repulsive. Y'all would have voted. Y'all would have voted Kermit the Frog in to get rid of Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? So it was the perfect Trojan horse. Fucking brilliant. And some of y'all are still sitting around watching CNN. Maybe he'll say something powerful today. Maybe Kamala will stop acting like Tales from the Crypt and say something that actually has any value today. Good luck. How can you not see it? How can you not see it? I would vote for Kanye before I vote for Biden. Kanye still has hope in my mind. Now, listen, let me say this before y'all start going into the celebrity thing. Shout out to Dylan. I love you. Much love. I appreciate you. I don't worship celebrities. So I can talk about celebrities the same way I talk about regular people without it having to be a thing. If you think every time somebody mentions a celebrity that it means that we worship them, no, we're having a conversation, right? Kanye, do I think he sold his soul? I think he said he sold his soul. So who am I to argue with him, right? It's funny in the chat room, right? He said he sold his soul. So we don't even really need to get into the specifics of that. But strategically, and I'm a Scorpio, so I'm always thinking about the play before the play, right? We don't really have a lot of Black men that are conscious and aware, that have the assets and the land. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm looking at strategy. I'm looking for my tribe, first of all, because there's other angels on this planet, right? But I'm also strategically trying to see where, if and when the shit hits the fan, and it will, we can turn to. Do I think Kanye is gonna be a savior for Black people? Hell no. Do I think somebody that is in a place of darkness and that's struggling to figure this shit out can listen to his music and be elevated? Absolutely. Use it for what it's worth. But, you know, then he's married to Kim Kardashian. So I can go online and she's probably going to be, you know, showing me her ass in her lingerie. I mean, it's all we ask for is balance. I don't want you to be any type of way. Just be balanced. Like I said in my post that I wrote, you know, if we planned the same amount of time that we partied, we might be getting somewhere. If you prepared it, you know, a lot of people are acting like it's not happening. Okay, well, let's act like it's not happening 50% of the time, and then use the other 50% of the time to prepare for what's actually happening. Yes, I still have faith in Kanye. I do. He's too valuable. Y'all got this cancel shit culture shit misconstrued. And I know, because people have tried to cancel me many a times. Good luck. You can't cancel. You can't cancel. What do you mean? Kanye's too valuable for me. Jay-Z's gone. He ain't even pretending anymore. That doesn't mean that he's not, you know, that he can't do good, or that he hasn't done good, or that he isn't doing good. But in the scheme of where we are right now, you know, the war, the scientific war, you know, they talking about locking food down, food's not hitting, we're not getting shipments in, they're keeping containers from being able to move around. They done figured out how to trick the natural, I'm watching my words. They found a way to manipulate science so that they can break into the highly, it's not delicate. There's a word and it's escaping me. The highly functional, and it's on the tip of my tongue, the exquisite, detailed, immaculate, you know, human body, which is one of the most powerful creations in the history of the world. Well, now they've found a way to infiltrate and to go into your genetic coding and to change one of the codes so that they can either send you an emotional rant, send you an emotional wavelength where now you can go out and kill somebody or hurt somebody or harm yourself, or you can start to develop emotions and conversations in your mind that are not your own. I don't know why my live ended on, let me see. No, I don't want to discard it. Cancel. Hold on, you guys. My live ended on Instagram. I don't know what the hell happened. Have I been talking for an hour? All right, well, I don't know what happened. Thank you, Harnessed Energy. I don't know what happened to Instagram, but they can come back. They'll come to YouTube. So, you know, and these people aren't even as smart to me. This is the whole fiasco that's taking place, everything that they've done. It's not even really that skilled. Like, you offering people donuts and shit, strip teases is disrespectful. At least, you know, make me feel like you tried. Okay, I went over an hour. That's what it was. All right, so let me see what's going on. 90% of the NBA took the you know what, 93% of the NFL. Black men have dropped the ball, pun intended. So yeah, and this is, Black men, I love you. I do. But you're not prepared or preparing our people for what's coming. I'm not talking about individuals, I'm talking about as a collective. And one of the things that I am going to talk about in the Goddess versus Queen versus Concubine web series is there has never in modern history been a full throttle movement by men collectively to protect women. There's never been a full throttle movement by men to stop rape culture. Let me see. Maybe I'll go back on Instagram for a second. There has never been, okay, I'm back on IG. There has never been a collective full throttle movement by any men, regardless of race, but specifically Black men, to curtail violence against women. So I think, we talk about the microcosm and the macrocosm, and the, there's a spiritual counterpart there's a physical and a spiritual counterpart to everything, right? I think part of the spiritual counterpart to this war that we're dealing with is the male-female dichotomy. And in particular, the savage abuse that women have taken and continue to take in this reality, and men collectively have never done anything about it. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe I studied history. Maybe I missed a minute. Has there ever been, and I'm going to ask the men this too, because y'all like to get mad at me when I challenge you. Has there ever been a collective movement by men anywhere in the world to stop and to curtail the abuse against women, the rape against women, the disrespect of women? I saw somebody say the Black Panther Party, but I'm going to challenge you on that. And I'm from Oakland, and I studied that history. The Black Panthers had a very, let me find the right words. There was a lot of playing games with women in the Black Panther Party. Huey Newton, a lot of the brothers, they were womanizers. They were. Just like a lot of the men in the conscious community are womanizers, right? So they'll get on a camera and tell you, Viva la Africa. You know what I'm saying? And then be playing around and disrespecting women. Oh, so this is what I want to say in regards to the spiritual and the physical war, right? Maybe, and think about R. Kelly, think about Bill Cosby, think about T.I., right? These are three examples that I'm talking specifically about in my presentation that I'm going to do probably next week. Maybe divine justice is why they ended up in jail. Maybe it was divine justice. Maybe the creator or the creatress or the creators are tired of the disrespect that women are having to experience. And not only are they experienced, but that they impose upon themselves. Maybe it's divine law. So somebody asked me, and he's probably watching right now. He sent me a message and asked me, what do I think about the, what was his word? The railroading. He didn't say railroading. I have that word in my head because it's something else. But basically he was saying, what do you think about the railroading of Bill Cosby and R. Kelly? I think they railroaded themselves. I think divine justice has been served and is being served. And I wouldn't spend 1 minute, 1 iota of my time defending either one of them. That's what I think. Doesn't mean I don't love Black men. And there are some Black men, I know some real kings that I would go to war for. You understand what I'm saying? And those of you guys that have followed me, you know, if I fuck with somebody, I fuck with them heavy, right? Sorry for cussing. But there are some brothers that I would absolutely go to war for. Those are not two of them. And I'm very perplexed why anybody in our community would. You don't love Camille Cosby, you love Bill Cosby, right? You won't vouch for Camille Cosby, but you'll vouch for Bill, right? You don't know Bill Cosby, you know Cliff Huxtable. We don't know Bill Cosby. And I don't care if Spanish Fly was, everybody was doing Spanish Fly during those times, if it was in vogue, if it was, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Just like Lizzo, bless her heart, I'm gonna light fire to her ass. You want to go on TED Talks and tell the world that the only thing that African women, and she didn't say this, but I'm saying it, because African women, Hatshepsut built a legacy and statues and great marvels and obelisks, and you know what I'm saying? And this is the only thing you revert back to Africa? Stop disrespecting Africa like that. I'm going to light fire under her ass. It's coming. It's just unavoidable at this point. I'm going to be in LA tomorrow, you guys. The Kingdom Within. We're going to be talking about the metaphysics of the metaphysics of magnetisms. We're going to be talking about frequency and energy, which is the answer to all of the questions that we have. I'm tired of talking about the problems. What's the solution? Frequency. What does that mean? Mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical being. You have to apply yourself in all 4 areas of yourself to manifest your highest and best self. Camille Cosby is connected to the bloodlines of society and put Bill in position. Probably so. She's high ranking at Spelman, I believe. We all disrespected one way or another. This is not our home. Don't expect fairness. This is my home. My ancestors have been here way before Europeans. This America is our land. This is our land. Why do I say that? Because this is our planet. There was a time when all of the continents were connected. There were no separation in the land masses. You can look at a map and put them all together. Pangea. And the native people, the Black native people from here will tell you they're not from Africa, right? So you can pick which tribe you came from. You can pick which soil you came from, but the planet is ours. That's why we're here. We're supposed to be taking care of it. The only thing we do now is claim it. We don't take care of it, but we claim it. I was going to say something about Africa. Damn. Polygamy. So I'm going to talk about this a little bit, right? So in the presentation, damn, I shouldn't even say it because I'm going to mess it up. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to wait. But what I will say is a woman that is seeking self-mastery and seeking to elevate at her highest and best self that won't be an aspiration for her. And neither will it be for a man. You know why? Because the higher you get in your spiritual understanding, right? The more conscientious you become, as far as how energy and frequency works, the more careful you are with how many people you bring into your cipher, right? And now me as a mom, I'm telling you straight up, I have an 18-year-old son. There is no way I could have another child. I could have had another child, wanted another child at certain points. But now that I know what I know, there's no way. Married, not married, because of the goals and aspirations I have for myself, it just wouldn't work for me. Not because it's not something to aspire to, but because of the amount of energy, the amount of sacrifice and attention that it takes to raise one child, let alone 4 or 5. Right? So I'm saying that to say, the more people that you add into the fold, the less energy you have for yourself. That's a mathematical equation. It doesn't mean that you can't give them all love. It doesn't mean that you can't give them all time. It doesn't mean that you can't feed the whole family. But can you, as a man, be mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically accountable to every single day 2 or 3 families? Let's say 8 children. Can you mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically pour into 8 children plus 2 wives every day, plus yourself? Great question, right? Now, if we're talking about a reaction, right, to war, but this is the thing. Oh, this is great. I'm glad this came up in my mind, right? We'll say, well, in times of war, polygamy was practiced, right? Because the women's husbands would run off and, or in ancient times, polygamy was used because, da 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 da. Well, why couldn't you take care of the other woman without her having to be your wife? Why isn't there a cultural dynamic where women that are displaced can naturally seek refuge in the culture? Why do we have to attach ourselves to a man in order to be protected? What is that about? And I'm not, I'm not anti-polygamy. I'm not anti anything. I'm pro-God. I'm pro-life. I'm pro-righteousness. War is certain to me. I don't know. Did I say war was certain to me? I was talking about war in old times. So you're a mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical being, right? So every day you're supposed to cultivate and acclimate and study and perfect yourself mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. Just you. Most people aren't even doing that. Most men aren't even doing that. So now let's add 2 wives and 8 children to the equation. Are we raising high vibrational beings? I don't know. You tell me. I watched a video on Moorish TV. One of my friends sent it to me about Dr. York and Malachi York and his children. And he had 2 of his daughter and his son. And his son was talking about how he has 100 brothers and sisters. But I'm just listening to this little girl got molested. And mind you, they weren't even focusing in on Dr. York. They were talking about the residuals of the culture he created. So there was pedophilia breeding in the environment. Well, he wasn't responsible. He can't be responsible. All the hell he's not. You at the top of the pyramid, everything that's underneath the pyramid is trickling down. So I heard like 4 or 5 different instances where my daughter got molested and I was molested and this person was molested. And we were never talking about York. Where's the hitters? Where's our male military force to shut that shit down when it happens? I don't know. I haven't seen it. I've seen a military brigade when white men get involved. I don't know. Can we do something without white men having to be? I don't know. Does a black man have to get killed every time we get active? So going back to my point, there has never, and if I'm wrong, correct me. If I'm wrong, correct me. And men, if I'm wrong, correct me. There's no original topic. I'm just talking because I feel like talking, because I have an event tomorrow and I'm excited and I kind of want to share it with the people that aren't going to be a part of it. And I also have a couple of tickets left to sell. Polygamy has been around a long time, and look at the condition of humanity. So you tell me, how has polygamy served humanity in the bigger agenda? Because again, we're, meaning 8 billion people on the planet, are currently under siege. So I really need to understand, in the bigger scheme of things, what role it played. So going back to the conversation, this person and this person was molested, that person was molested, this happened, that happened. I know somebody who was in the Hebrew Israelites, a woman whose daughter was molested, and she went to the men in power and nobody did anything. But that happens in our culture, in our community every day. It's an unwritten rule, law. So when I see people online talking about we need to stay on code, what code? Is it written? Is there a book? Where's the code for how men should interact with women? Where's the code for how men should conduct themselves with women? Where's the code on polygamy? Please help me understand. I need it. I need to see it. I need to find it. Because when I was putting the workbook together and I got to this map of the world, and it was showing the statistics of rape in females and murder in females and areas where females were actually protected. In the workbook, there was not one place on the planet where women are safe. Not Africa, not Alaska, not Canada, not America, not Australia, not South America, not Mexico, not Thailand, not China, not Japan, not one place on the planet. And you think the divine goddess is not upset? The planet is not upset? You blame everything. I want to see you debate the Crimson Cure. She will handle you. First of all, I don't debate. Number one, there's no need for me to debate. What benefit would there ever be for me to debate anybody, especially about this topic? I have an 18-year-old son. For me to actually take on a debate where I'm actually trying to prove that men are the problem, don't ever fucking disrespect me like that again in your life. Don't play with me. I am equally as critical as I am of women. Consistently, actually. Maybe you should take a second to scroll through my intentions or through my pages. This is what I'm saying. Now, somebody else put a comment up. Where's the code on how women should act towards men? I mean, we can talk about that, but right now we're talking about men. Do you have a problem with talking about men? Do you have a problem with holding men accountable? Do you have a problem discussing manhood? I'm intrigued. And I'm going to wait for you to respond. Thank you. I just went on females. But this is what I'm saying. We've created this culture of weak ass men. Women have a lot to do with that. And I've been intentionally talking about that for at least 5 years now, the role that women have created. But when I see comments like that, you're who I'm talking about. You have a problem with holding yourself responsible for your behavior and your actions. That's not going to fly moving forward. This planet is going to spit people like you out. You're not going to make it. There's already been a decree. Your type, unless you change And unless you evolve, your time on this planet and your days on this planet are limited. See what I have to do? You see what I have to deal with? 85% of the people are deaf, dumb, and blind. 10% of the people are bloodsuckers of the poor, and 5% are the poor righteous teachers. So that applies to women. 85% of the women are deaf, dumb, and blind. 10% of the women are bloodsuckers of the poor, and 5% of the poor righteous teachers, and 5% of the actual 5% are the real poor righteous teachers. So men, you smartass, 85% of you are deaf, dumb, and blind. Which one are you in that number? Do I have a calculator? Let me get a calculator. How many men are there on the planet right now? Let's do some math. Somebody tell me how many men there are on the planet right now. Do you want to play games? Let's play. How many men are there on the planet? 85% of you are deaf, dumb, and blind. 10% are bloodsuckers of the poor. 5% are poor righteous teachers, and 5% of that 5% are actually operating on a spiritual and a righteous plane. Now, which one are you? I know y'all used to dealing with women who spit emotion and fire and don't really have any solid grounding. I'm not her. So you want to talk? Let's talk. 85%, 10%, 5%. Which one are you? I'm waiting. We're not going to deal with emotions. Let's deal with facts. Which one are you? 3930 billion? Is that 393 billion? Let's do the math. Is that 300? Is that supposed to say 393 billion? Let's do some math. We're waiting for you. It's not going to be on YouTube tomorrow. I mean, on Zoom. We talked about that earlier. We need to start having conversations without the internet. I can appreciate Zara's, my name is ZaZa, insight on some topics, but let's be real. Women are the ones who choose to be involved in that arrangement. Women are operating from lack-based consciousness. We all have to accept responsibility and accountability for our decisions. That goes without saying. So yeah, if a woman is in a situation, she agreed to it. If a man is in a situation, she agreed to it. We're all clear on that, right? But most of the women in this society, beyond race, are operating from lack-based consciousness. Why? Because everybody is constantly reminding them that there are very few selections in men. Men are saying that shit. I mean, so why are you... So you rather have a glass a quarter full than empty. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I've been consistently talking about women, and I just, the whole first part of the video was about women and how I'm about to take Lizzo's head off of her shoulders for promoting that bullshit. I talked about how men, it's very difficult for men to function in this reality when we're all walking around in a soft porn video. Women are constantly objectifying and disrespecting themselves and then getting mad when men disrespect them and treat them like objects. You're late to the party, bro. Step your game up. Now let's do the math. Are you an 85%er? Are you a 10%er? Are you a 5%er? Or are you a 5% of the 5%er? And if you say you're a 5% of the 5% of the 5%, I got some questions. Anything else, you don't matter to me. I'm waiting. Where are you? And this is why having these type of conversations is difficult, because nobody wants to accept accountability. When I talk to women and critique us and focus on what we need to work on, half the conversation is talking about what men are doing. And when I talk to men, 75% of the conversation is about what women are or aren't doing. You said you were the head of the household. You said you were the protector and the provider. How do you keep blaming everything on us? I really want to understand. Your math's not adding up. I'm not talking to all men. I'm talking to the 85%ers. I'm putting you on the mat. Show yourself so I can finish your ass. I hope you get healed, sister. You have a lot of pain and hurt. Is that your rebuttal? Is that really, you have really shown yourself to be such a, this isn't even worth me getting out of bed for. I thought we were going to spar. I'm not hurt. I'm not bitter. I'm fired up. I'm getting ready to have my first speaking engagement in 3 years tomorrow. I'm actually rather excited. I'm in a great mood. I came online to give out a free ticket, but I don't like ignorance and I don't like fuckboys. So, as we were talking about women being in an ecosystem, and we are, and how the women that we see, Black women in particular, let's say, it's natural for our daughters to gravitate towards them and want to embody what they represent, right? And the same thing is true for men. It's natural for our sons to want to gravitate towards men that look like them and men that represent our culture. So this is why when we say, that's not my problem, that's not my responsibility, that is a very self-serving and selfish way of operating, especially when you have a larger platform. Relax, family in the chat room. I'm good. I'm good. I think you guys sometimes misconstrue my passion as anger. I don't do these videos a lot. So if you see me fired up for 20 minutes or 30 minutes, it's going to be okay. I'll log off and go and have some tea and some water and go back to what I was doing before. But I do know how to take my sword off and take somebody's head when I need to, and then we can bring it back down. This infrastructure, this ecosystem of how human beings work and operate, right? We have to be very mindful about how we're moving and operating. So one of the things that we're going to talk about tomorrow, when you attach yourself to a lower frequency or a lower energetic being, you naturally take that lower frequency or that lower energy on, and it lowers your frequency and it lowers your energy, right? So there's really no such thing as casual sex, right? Because if you are mating, this is what I talk about in the presentation. T.I., for instance, and him coming forward and saying we were all in a consensual situation, and I don't know why they're lying, and this isn't, this is people trying to set me up and come after me. Well, you may not have did what they said you did, and I don't think he did. I believe he's probably telling the truth about these women who were actually consciously engaging in this behavior. But what type of women were you actually laying down with? Were these low vibrational beings? Usually women that take drugs and agree to take drugs to do menage a trois and be sexually uninhibited are not high vibrational beings. So you have somewhere between 5 and maybe 50, I don't know, women that you and your wife were engaging and having these sexual explorations with. Were these women high quality women, or were they low vibrational beings? Because if they were low vibrational beings, then you, my friend, have become a part of the low vibrational being family. And this is why the energy and the frequency that shifted out to the universe through those interactions, when the pendulum swings back to the other end of the direction, there's a price to pay. And the lower the frequency of the people that you're engaging, the bigger the price. Not because God is punishing you, not because it's a sin, but because it's all energetic resonance. So whatever the energy is that you're engaging is the energy that's actually going to swing back to your way. This is why high vibrational women who are mentally and spiritually astute, are usually not engaging in those type of things. It's math. So going back to R. Kelly, going back to Bill Cosby, maybe it was just divine law. The pendulum was swinging back to the other end. I don't know. We forget that there is a spiritual, right, reality to this life. We think it's just all on the ground. We think it's all what we see. We think it's all the physical. No, the real power is the things that we can't even see. You guys have any more questions? Before I take my sword off and yeah, it's a beautiful thing to be a warrior. You know what I'm saying? Any more questions before I let you guys go? I wish there was a monitoring system that could, you put your, when you tap in, I am ZaZa Ali, or when you tap in YouTube, go to ZaZa's live, and then a lightning, you know how the light, they have those machines where the light will scan your whole body, scan your brain, and scan you from top to bottom, right? To figure out what your energetic resonance is. I need a scanner for when you log into my chat room to scan you from head to toe. Are we in 85%? Scanning for 85%ers. Lost and found. Where are you? Do you have your own brain? Can you think straight? Do you hate women? Are you emotionally stable? Scan from top to bottom. Once you pass the test, you get in the chat room. Somebody asked me a question. Let me see. There was a question from a super chat, and I want to make sure I go back and read that because I think it was probably something important. So let's see. All messages, top chat, some messages. Okay, let me see. Hang on. And it's funny that this is the funny thing about social media, right? People will say things to provoke you. And then when you punch them in their mouth, why are you don't have to respond like that. I didn't mean it like that. Okay. You earned that though. You know what I mean? What do you think of what my birthmark is, the shape of Africa? I think that's dope. Hold on. There was a couple of questions. Hang on, guys. Let me find the questions. I'm gonna let you guys go in just a few minutes. We love you here in Oakland, Queen. Honored to have been a classmate of yours in Professor Ampin's class. Okay, so Professor Manu Ampin is a very astute African scholar and teacher. Him and Reverend McKnight, Dr. Reverend McKnight at Merritt College were two of my favorite teachers. I actually used to go teach classes for Dr. McKnight. He used to let me sub and teach his classes. African studies. So yeah, shout out to the town and all of my people there, and peace and love. Thank you for tuning in. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, I don't know what happened to the wait, let's see. Let's see. Any more questions, you guys? Because I done started sweating. Let's see. I can't find the message. Whoever that was that did that super chat, if you had a question, if you could copy and paste it and put it in there, and I'm gonna wait for you guys to see if you have any questions, and then I'm gonna be out. Because the internet is the wild, wild west. And what's so ironic to me, right, is how vocal you guys are when it comes to your displeasure with women or your gripes with women. What do you think about Bill Gates? What do you think about Zbigniew Brzezinski? What do you think about the Rothschilds? Because all that peasant energy, or I'm sorry, perverted peasant energy masking itself as strength, maybe you should focus that on them. And I'm not just talking to men. That was a comment directed at certain men, but all of us in particular, right? All of us. We're spending all this time spinning our wheels on social media and picking and choosing what we debate and what we focus on and what we talk about. But why are we not focused on the broader context and the bigger picture of what's happening in the world? My next event is probably going to be in December. What sparked the need, probably in December, in LA? What sparked the need to do what you do? I don't understand the question. Can you rephrase that? Is there a class coming up soon? There is a, Sayla, did you get your books? There is a, hold on. There's a class on October 30th, isn't it? I have my letters over here somewhere. There's a Keys to Womanhood class on October 30th. I haven't announced it yet, but if you purchase the Keys to Womanhood book, you'll automatically get a free invite. And if you haven't purchased the book, you can purchase the book or you can purchase the class. I'll be announcing it soon. Is there a solution between man and woman? Absolutely. That is the solution to everything. Bridging the gap between men and women. That's why it's important to have these conversations, even though it's really, if you're in a room full of like-minded people, even if you disagree, everybody's hearing each other and there is a common consensus that we're all trying to expand and grow. You can have meetings of the mind and thrive in those type of circumstances. When you're trying to do this in a public forum and there's people that come among you just to cause contention or to divert from what really needs to be talked about, it's difficult to do it in those type of environments. Peace Queen, Nuasha. Yes, I'll have my books at the event tomorrow. And I think I just saw your king in the chat room, if I'm mistaken, but it's moving too fast. Will I do a Clubhouse? Probably not. I'm not really a social media person. So if I add another social media, page, it'll be Telegram. And my Telegram page will be specifically based around the science of what's happening and giving people information that's being censored online. But Clubhouse, it's just another page to me. And I didn't really vibe too well with Clubhouse. I've listened to a couple of things. Just, I don't know. It's not really my thing. I love you too. Thank you so much, Top Entertainment. I appreciate that. How do you plan on traveling without the what? Okay, so guys, make sure when you type, just be selective with the words that you use in the chat room so that we can navigate the algorithm so my page doesn't get shut down. I'm not traveling anymore to do events. I'll probably be doing speaking engagements every 2 or 3 weeks in Southern California, 2 or 3 months. You guys can come see me here, but the traveling thing, as far as speaking engagements, is on hold. As far as me traveling, there's nowhere I really want to go right now, because all the places that I wanted to go are under control of the devil. And I don't want to be anywhere where the frequency is not in alignment with who I am and where my energy is. So there's not anywhere I really want to go right now. I'm not taking a test to go anywhere, because that's a part of the, the overall agenda. So I won't be getting tested to do anything, which means that anything I do will not include that. And yeah, I don't want to be in the world with all of this chaos going on. You know, right now my focus is my heaven being wherever I am. You know what I mean? And being solid and secure with where I am right now. And as this situation unfolds, you know, I'll think about traveling again. If I want to go somewhere, I will mentally project myself there and it will happen. But I don't really have a desire to travel anywhere, specifically outside of America right now. And there's a lot of beautiful places in this country that I can get in my car and go to. Sedona, Utah is somewhere I want to visit. Virginia. I mean, the beaches along the Pacific coast. So Southern California is absolutely stunning. So yeah, I don't anywhere I want to go. It'll either be somewhere I can get in my car and go to, or you know, hop a quick flight. But I'm not concerned about not being able to travel. In my mind, I feel like this is a sacrifice that the righteous ones are making. We're making a sacrifice right now so that we can end this world and bring a new world in. So like I talked about before, I want the IRS off my planet. I want the Department of Motor Vehicles, all of the capitalism, the suffering, the poverty, the raping of the natural resources, the disrespect and game playing and abuse of women. I want all of that gone. So I feel like what's happening right now is a purging process for that to happen. Unfortunately, a lot of people are going to have to see a demise, whether for some people it'll be a physical demise, for some people it'll be a spiritual or a mental demise. But yeah, carnage is coming. My goal is just to not be a part of the carnage and to help elevate as many minds and souls as I can so that we can be in the righteous number. Do I watch Vicky Dillard? No. What are the repercussions of getting the test to travel? I mean, I did a video called Science as a Weapon, right? It's on my page. You can go to my website, ZaZaAli.com. I did a 7-hour presentation that I chopped up into 3 videos, and I specifically talked about the tests in that video. But those tests have chemicals and also technology in them that are serving albeit subservient, but are also serving an agenda that is the same agenda that is the, you know what. The test is a part of the agenda and the process. Y'all gotta what? See, I'm asking you guys to be careful about how the language that you're using, so we can keep the video from being picked up by the algorithm. False positives, yes, but there's also more to it than just being the false positive. Those tests actually, they've put them under microscopes. They found a carcinogenic chemical as well as fibers that have intelligence. I gave one to it. Well, the event's in LA, so anybody that gets the free ticket is probably going to have to be in this area. But I think I probably have gotten enough responses to that. I don't know, but I'm sure I have. But yes, I am giving a free ticket away to the event in LA tomorrow. So if you're interested, send me an email and we'll go from there. So tomorrow, well, and not only that, yes, I still use bentonite clay. So not only that, to your point, the one who said a false positive can create all kind of problems. Once you're in the system, meaning, you know, I took it and I was negative, or I took it or I was positive, you're in the soup now, right? So now, you know what I mean, your name is in a database, and, you know, let's say if you took it and went to Costa Rica. So now you're in the system, you tested negative, everything's fine, you go on your trip, but now you're in the system, and now somebody else is in the system, is in the same pool as you, or, you know, at the same restaurant as you, right? So now if that person tests positive, they're going to double back on you, right? And there's going to be ramifications for you for being in the same vicinity of somebody who actually tested positive. So I think it's a, you know what I mean? It's a lot of layers to this, right? No, it's not going to be live streamed. It will eventually be up on my channel though. I'll let you guys know my Telegram when I launch it. I already have it. I just haven't launched it yet because it's just another social media page and this is work. I know people think, you know, quote unquote influencers or like, it's a lot of work running these channels and responding to these messages and staying abreast with what's going on. Do I still speak to Willie D? Yeah, that's the homie. I don't think anything about that person's museum. What if I told you that I despise LA? I would tell you that's not necessary for you to tell me that because I don't care. Any more questions, you guys? I actually feel like talking. So if you guys have something you want to ask me that is of substance, that test swab run against your cribriform plate, which allows entry into your blood. Yes. That's that technology that I talked about before that is able to trick your system in order to accept it and so that it can do what it's supposed to do. How do we cope mentally with these realities? Great question. Thank you. So actually, this is a flyer that I send out with all of my books. I'm going to read to you what I have on this flyer because this is actually addressing exactly what you said. How do we thrive in some times of uncertainty? Number one, become more spiritually in tune, create breathwork regimens, spend time in nature, and develop a personal form of meditation or prayer. I can't tell you how important it is for us to be breathing properly, especially those of you guys that are wearing masks. And somebody asked me, do I mask up? No, I don't. If I have to go in a store or something that I need to, you know, do, I wear it, but I wear it off my nose. But outside of that, no. And no mask will not be required for the event tomorrow. Number two, fine tune your physical and mental diet, become light in all areas. It improves our ability to adjust or navigate circumstances. Number three, let go of anything or anyone that is not serving your best interests. Number four, spend time alone. This is important. Even as we have families and businesses and worlds that depend on us, it is imperative that we have alone time without intrusion. This is when we are able to hear the messages that come to and through us from the spiritual realm. That would be my direct answer. Obviously, you have to take care of yourself. You know, if you're watching things or engaging in things that make you feel, you know, that are stressing you out, I would say stop that. But the formula is really simple. The problem is people don't want to approach life from a spiritual perspective, an internal perspective. They want to do everything, but they want to go to the gym and buy Bitcoin, but don't want to focus on how well they're functioning mentally and emotionally and spiritually, which is more important than any of it. Is moving out of California an option for you? Eventually I will. I was in Atlanta for 3.5 years and I had to leave Atlanta because it ran its course for me. And I'll be here for probably, I don't know, but I'm enjoying the beach right now and the weather. What is the proper way to breathe? I have a video called Rhythmic Breathing, Yin Yoga and Rhythmic Breathing. I believe it is on my YouTube channel. If it's not on my YouTube channel, it's in my Overcoming Anxiety workshop, which includes 2 meditations, a yin yoga practice, a breathing practice. It's called Overcoming Anxiety. I arrived when you were talking about traveling. May you share your thoughts on travel to the motherland? I mean, right now, I think we all need to learn how to be still for a minute. If you have something that is pressing, you know, in Africa, you know, family or something that is important for you to go there, I mean, by all means, I think you should do what you want to do anyway. But right now, I think this is the time to be still for a minute, personally. Will you have an event in Oakland anytime soon? Probably not. I'm probably going to only be doing events locally here in LA, but you're welcome to, that's a quick, you know, 4 or 6 hour drive, depending on how you drive. I've gotten here in 4 hours before, so I know it can be done. But if you want to come through, I'll be announcing the next one probably in December. Okay, so we good? Oh, and you guys know, am I getting any more tax? Probably not. Come on, man. Come with some better questions in this. I don't do lives a lot. Y'all want to engage me? Let's talk about some good stuff. Calhoun, you asked some good questions, so I don't want to be funny, but you know, come on. The real ID, just so you know, and they're starting to press this, is going to be mandatory by 2023 in order to travel across the country. So it's not just the whole passport thing, but they're also implementing this real ID. I believe that the real ID and blockchain and all of those things are going to be intricately tied together. So the passport is going to be run and operated through blockchain. That's the reason why it was created. I know you guys think that, you know, some random wizard created it in Asia, but no, it was actually created by the governments of the world because they always had a plan for one world currency. And it's the perfect, you know, explanation, to be honest, you know, that there's no oversight, there's no regulation. I mean, we have to learn how to think how these people think. I'm not saying don't make money in Bitcoin. I'm not saying don't own in Bitcoin. Just like what I was saying about Haiti, we can do what we need to do, but also watch what the agenda is. And we don't really watch the agenda. We just do what we need to do, which is why we're in the situation that we're in right now, right? So I don't really hear a lot of people that are promoting digital currency talking about how this is going to affect the broader scope of humanity. Blockchain is what they're going to use to lock the system down digitally. It's always been the goal from the beginning. Do I spend my energy explaining to people who got the jab why I didn't know? Because most of them can't handle the truth. And again, this is a spiritual war. So the more energy you pour out into other people that's not serving your best interest, the weaker you're going to be in the coming days, when you're going to need your strength and when you're going to need to preserve yourself. So we're like in a hibernation. That's why when you ask me, should you travel to Africa right now? Or, you know, like, I feel like this should be a hibernating space for the righteous ones. Not like you just lock yourself in a system and don't deal with the world, but just hibernating as far as how you're moving in the world to prepare yourself to sort of store up your energy, right? To store up the way that you're thinking, to kind of cultivate a certain type of internal strength and awareness, so that it sustains you over the next 2 or 3 years. Because I think the next 2 or 3 years are going to be really, really, I hope everybody is on their mental and spiritual square. I'll just say that. I would love to know what you think about working online as a spiritual entrepreneur starting from scratch. I don't want to take. Okay, so I'm actually getting ready to do a course. Not getting ready, I've started it, but it's in development, for a book, you know, people who want to write books, people who are interested in becoming publishers. I'm going to do a full course explaining the business from beginning to end, from writer's block, and how to actually formulate and structure a book. You know, writing the book, formulating and structuring it, you know, getting it ready for print, actually printing, all of the semantics of that, but then also how to, you know, the specifics of publishing and running a publishing company, because I think that could be a viable source of income for people that are looking to kind of branch out a little bit. And it's relative to social media, right? You can write ebooks now and put them out into the world. You just have to have something to say, and people have to like you. I think a lot of people think you can just go online and post a book and that's all it has. No, you got to be likable. You have to, the social media is an art to it. You have to engage, you know, and if you don't have a people personality, then there may be another way to do it. But that course is going to be a potential for people to kind of branch out into another world of business. I'm not really a social media person, so I struggle with that aspect of it. I'm more so focused now on running my business without social media. If I make money through social media, wonderful. But my goal is to, you know, kind of tap into industries that are not social media focused. so that my business can maintain itself, whether I'm online, engaging or posting on social media or not. And ghostwriting is, yes, a great idea. Nikki needs to make an entire album that is conscious rap in order for me to take her serious. Yeah, I don't even, I'm not there with her yet, but I am happy that she said what she said. After being exposed to so much evil in real time, prayer is the only reason. All right, y'all. So if that's it, I'm thinking I'm going to let you beautiful people go. Thank you so much for tuning in, and listening, and for hearing me out. And just, make sure that you're taking time to take care of yourself and really, really internally be focused, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, because we have some rough days coming ahead of us. But I expect to thrive even in the midst of all of those things. And I expect for things to go well for myself and my son and all of the people that, are on a frequency. You know what I mean? Do you get into or touch on the concepts of aliens or the Anunnaki or their supposed involvement or running? I could, but I don't. And I'm going to tell you why. Because what does that have to do with us today? If I could find this, if I could find and you guys know I'm a history major. I love history, right? My question about the Anunnaki and a lot of those different spaces in time, what we don't understand is that the consciousness of those times is what actually activates a lot of that information. So whereas we've written, we've had people, thank you for whoever that was with the super chat, much love. We've had people write books and volumes about hieroglyphs, right? And it still hasn't done anything to raise the consciousness, because the consciousness of those times is what activated that knowledge. Now we're just reading it in a book and it's not really resonating, so to speak, and being transmuted through our experience, right? Because the consciousness of that time was different than the consciousness is today. Just like, the information that we're creating and what's happening in this world right now is being stimulated and activated based on our consciousness. So I don't really spend, there's a whole war going on right now. You know what I'm saying? There's people dying. There's agenda that is very wicked and savage. If there is a thesis or a solution or wisdom within the Anunnaki or some of those different cultures and historic civilizations, I'll do a deep dive, but I just haven't found anything as of yet. So I think it's wonderful to explore those things as researchers, those things are important. But I also think that it's important that, we be mindful of the time and how we spend our language and our time and our attention in lieu of the fact that there is a spiritual and global war taking place. So it's not that important to me right now. I wouldn't spend, just like flat earth, when people try to, oh, flat earth, what do you think about it? I don't think anything. If it's real, then tell me where's the secret to nullify this shot. If it's that important and you feel like it was that powerful, it's, that revelation has brought some newfound consciousness. All right, cool. Let's get together and figure out what the remedy is for the poison that has been inoculated in 3 billion people. Is there something in the Anunnaki language that can help us to discern and decipher gene therapy technology? That's where I'm interested in. Somebody just asked a question that I wanted to answer. How far do you see this agenda going? I think the prophecy says that a lot of people are going to die. And I think the agenda is for a lot of people to die. And I think that the agenda for the people that don't die is to turn them into something other than themselves. The only people that are going to subvert or avert that agenda is people that are actively, consciously, righteously on their square. So I think the people that are on their square are going to build a new world. And those that are not are going to be facing some difficult days. We're all going to be facing some difficult days, but the level of difficulty is going to be based on where we are in our emotional and our energetic resonance. I believe there may be a connection with junk DNA and the theories of genetic alteration by the Anunnaki and the current genetic manipulation. Well, the idea of junk DNA is ludicrous, first of all. How can you identify DNA, which is a very, mathematics, scientific, equation, so to speak? How do you label it junk just because you don't know what its purpose is? We could say that about the Anunnaki. We could say that about the Kemetic pharaohs. We could say that about, the prophets of old. We could say that about, the people who study Muhammad, the descendants of Muhammad, or the people who walked with him. They identify themselves as an upper echelon type human being. Not human being, but, historians, Quranic, references, they're master teachers in a sense. They believe that having that connection to Prophet Muhammad makes them a higher caliber of human being, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you don't need to go back to the Anunnaki to resonate and manifest your highest and best self. You don't need to, and Instagram just cut me off again. I'm not going to go on again, but you don't need to study the Anunnaki to manifest your highest and best self. Can you learn how to manifest your highest and best self through studying the Anunnaki? Sure, but it's not mandatory. So I think we've made a lot of this stuff more difficult than what it actually needs to be. If you focus on your breathing, if you cultivate a righteous mindset, if you study, if you are internally focused, if you stay sucker free and away from all of the nonsense that's happening in the world, you can cultivate an environment where you can master yourself. You know what I'm saying? But I know people that are talking about the Anunnaki and haven't given the world anything. You know what I'm saying? So, it depends on the person. It depends on, what brings, it's all about personal power. Whatever it is that brings your personal power forward, then that's where you should go. But for some people, reading about the Anunnaki does nothing for them. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about where you are in your vibrational countenance and in your understanding. Much love. Noon, I appreciate you for the super chat. That's a good look. Thank you, Shola. I'm assuming you're in London. Much love to my family in London. I'm going to be doing another interview with, Urban podcast that I did recently with the brother and sister out there. She's probably tuning in now. I appreciate you, Hard Target. Much love. Don C. ZaZa, the jab nonsense is going to end, or are they trying to extend it? I think I just answered that. It's going to end when we end it. That's why I've been, in men's chest, not in a bad way, but in a righteous, divine, feminine, queen, goddess way. That's why I've been kind of, going directly to our men, because it's not going to end until we end it. So what's our plan? Exposing it is one thing. I've been exposing it, and a lot of people have been exposing it for a long time, and we're still here. So exposing it is one thing, but actually ending it, yeah, that's what we have to decide. So anyone who took the jab isn't on the square. That's for the person who took it to decide. If someone has put a poison, unlike anything we've ever seen, something that is potentially altering you genetically, internally, in ways that we've never experienced before, you're going to have to create a life and create an environment and create a reality where that's not going to keep you off your square. So I'm not going to project on anybody or say you're done if you took it or life is over. I don't even operate like that. I believe anything, the body can be healed, the mind can be reformed. The spirit can be rejuvenated, but you got to have a real strong passion and drive. And to be honest, most of the people who went and took it in the first place don't have that. You know what I'm saying? So if you have that and you can get yourself in that frame of mind, it's going to be an uphill battle, but of course it can be done. But you don't have any days off. You can't wait until, to make a New Year's resolution. It has to start right now. You got to do a full body detox. You need to be doing research for the people, the doctors and scientists that are trying to figure out a remedy for this stuff. You need to be meditating and praying every day. You need to be internally focused. You need to be staying away from low vibrational beings. You need to be eating properly every single day. You know what I'm saying? Like all the stuff that we should have been doing before, if you've taken it, multiply that by 5. No, not 5. That's not 5. All the stuff we should have been doing before, multiply that by 3. That's where you need to be now. Because now you've made a decision and you've made a choice that could have very negative ramifications for you. So now you've got to undo the damage that's been done. You know what I'm saying? So yes, it is permanently in the bloodstream, but we have to also remember, and this is what I'm really going to talk about, and I'm going to leave you guys with this because this is important. So you're right. That's what you said. Who was that? Let me find it. Somebody just talked about the bloodstream. Okay, I lost it, but somebody was saying that it stays. Okay, it's permanently in the bloodstream. True, as far as we know. And what we have to remember is that while we keep saying that it's experimental, it's not actually experimental because the United States experiments on their armed forces. So a lot of the stuff that we think that they don't really have all of the, the studies on, they actually do. They've been testing this stuff for a long time. And I know because the technology that they use is the same technology, but a variation of the technology that's in chemtrails, right? And chemtrails has been active for 30 plus years, 50, depending on who you ask, right? So if we know that they've been perfecting the technology through chemtrails, then we can't really say it's experimental, especially because, they have underground bunkers and they test this stuff on military personnel. So I don't really think it's experimental. I think it's experimental as far as the broader humanity, the 8 billion people, but I think they know what it's capable of and what it's going to do. But this is what I'm going to end with, and this is what we're going to talk about tomorrow. And I have a couple of tickets left. If you want to come, it's in LA. And I also have a free ticket that I'm giving away. So if you're in LA, email me and let's talk about it. But frequency is the name of the game. So your pH level, the alkalinity of your bloodstream versus the acidity of your bloodstream is your pH level. Your pH level affects your frequency. How you are thinking and feeling, what's happening in your mind and your thought process affects your mental vibration or your mental frequency. The food that you put in your body affects your frequency, right? If you drink a lot of soda, it's going to affect the frequency of your kidneys. If you are promiscuous, it's going to affect the frequency of your sexual organs, right? So your overall frequency and vibration is what's going to determine how susceptible you are to the technology. If you got it, you're going to be more susceptible. If you didn't get it, you're still susceptible because we got cell phone towers and all kind of other stuff going on around us that's making our environment magnetic, right? So whatever your vibrational countenance is, this is the name of the game. This is really the only game there is at this point. I think I froze. I froze up for a second. So your frequency, when we talk about nanotech, that's all run by frequency. When we talk about sending a signal from a tower and activating what's in the what, that's all frequency. So it's all frequency technology. So how do you subvert or avert that? Through your frequency. You know what I'm saying? So it's complex and it's scientific and it's intricate and scary, but it's also what we have to do is very simple. They go out of their way to control the natural resources, to control the planet, to make people suffer, to oppress people, to abuse people. All we have to do is eat right. All we have to do is focus on our breathing. All we have to do is take care of our bodies. All we have to do is live in harmony with nature, right? We have to go back to the basics. So it's a frequency game. So I'm going to leave you guys with that, and I'm going to really build on that tomorrow. And I'll see everybody that's going to be with me tomorrow in LA really, really soon. All the rest of you beautiful souls, thank you for engaging me and hearing me out and listening to me rant and, you know, go off on a couple of people. And, you know, this is how my thinking process goes. And sometimes I just want to sit down with you guys and kind of help you guys to get a better understanding of me and how I operate. Thank you, sis, for the super chat. I appreciate. Oh, for Quan. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Y'all take care of yourselves. You know what I mean? Take good care of yourself. And we're gonna be all right. We're gonna get through this. And those of us who see the other side of this are going to build a righteous world in the kingdom of God. All right. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm exhausted now. I'm gonna go and do something with myself until I finish. You know, I have to look over my presentation for tomorrow, so I'll probably be up late. But I just wanted to come and talk to you guys for a few minutes. All right. Y'all be good. I'll see you soon. Peace and love.